There was 2 cars on the road. I remember like it was yesterday. I'm telling you, this part of the story, like it kills me every time because I relive it so much. There was 2 cars on the road. There was a truck and there was a Mercedes, and I was in the middle. It's a 2-lane road. So Highway 27 is just 2 roads on each side. There's pretty much no lights. It's dark, and in the middle it's a median, but it's like uneven ditches, you know, grass and stuff like that. So as we're driving, and on both sides it's pretty much just oranges. It's just trees. So it's kind of like in the middle of nowhere. But it's the easiest route from Lakeland to I-75, you know, for me to get home. So as I'm driving, I'm probably like an hour and a half away from home. I've been driving like 2 hours already. And I just heard it. And I felt it. And as soon as it did, the car actually slid to the side. And once it hit the median, it just flipped, you know. And I remember the car flipping, right? On the first flip, you know, I asked God, you know, please don't let me die. You know, because all this was in slow motion to me. Even though it was fast, it was in slow motion. On the first flip, I asked God, don't let me die. On the second flip, you know, I asked God, please forgive me for all my sins. You know, I was slick. I said, yo, if I'm going to die, I'm going straight to heaven because I already asked for forgiveness. But, you know, God was like, oh, you think you slick. He ain't let me die. He like, that's too easy. So on the third flip, I asked God again, yo, please don't let me die. You know, but on the third flip, the way it worked, the window shattered and my head kind of came out and the roof caved in. And my face, I remember my face hitting the ground. So my face hit the dirt, the roof caved in, and the car rolled over my head. And the car stopped. As soon as the car stopped, I knew I was alive, but I felt like I was hovering. So instantly I knew I broke my neck. Instantly I knew I broke my neck. And I was like, I'm hovering and I'm looking around for my phone. I can't find my phone. And I'm kind of like sitting up where I could feel the pain, but it's not really pain yet. So I'm sitting up and I'm like, damn, I can't find my phone, so I'm gonna just, you know, wait for help because there was 2 cars on the road. You know, these cars saw me flip. So I'm just sitting, I'm sitting. I'm watching cars go. I'm just watching lights go by, and nothing. But I'm sitting up and I got my head straight because every time I move my neck, I feel the pain. So I'm sitting up, but I still have movement in my body. I can still move my hands. I just can't feel my legs, you know. But as time goes by, I can't take it no more because I can't hold my head up anymore. So I feel like I'm slipping. So I started letting my neck go back, and I felt the pain, but I had no choice. I can't hold my neck up no more. Once I let my neck go all the way and I let my head go back, that's when I felt the full paralysis. Like that's when I couldn't feel my hands no more. I couldn't feel nothing. And at that point, I felt like I'm slipping away. And I asked God one last time, I said, God, please don't let me die like this, you know. I want to see my son. I want to see my friends and family. I don't want to die like this. And as I said that, I hear a car pulling up. And I look and I see the car pull up. And the car pulls up and the guy had his window down, so I screamed help. And I was able to move my hand, put my hand outside the car. So the guy jumps out of the car and the guy starts crying. And the reason the guy was crying was because the guy actually was driving north, saw the car, stopped, and saw the car on the side of the road and was like, he was like, yo, why is this car on the side of the road like this? You know, because usually, you know, when a car crashes, you know, the cops usually come, tow truck takes the car. Yeah. So there's no reason why this car's on the side of the road. But he's looking, but it's dark and he sees nothing, no type of movement. He leaves. 2 miles down the road, yo, his conscience is killing him. Something is making him go back. He's forcing him to go back, which makes him turn around and drives back. And when he pulls up and he hears me, yo, he jumps out of the car and he's crying because he left me to die. Something made him come back to get me. and instantly he called the cops. And I told him, yo, I remember, I told him, oh, call my mom. I gave my mom's number.
Somebody calls my mom's phone, like, and she runs back into the room, like, what happened? So I grabbed the phone, like, who is this? And they're like, oh, your brother got into an accident. Well, the dude said your son. He thought he was still talking to my mom, and I was like, Jerry. And he's like, yeah, Jerry got in an accident. So now I'm freaking out.
And seriously, not even 2 minutes passed by, and I already heard the sirens. And the cops came, and I'm sitting in the car, and they used the jar light to cut the car open. You know, they taking me out, and then the chopper came, because I told them instantly, oh, I can't feel my leg. I think I broke my neck, and I think I'm bleeding internally because I feel like I'm slipping away. Yeah. So I'm telling them all these stuff, you know. And the guy's still standing there. The guy's still standing there with me, making sure everything was good. Like, he didn't even leave. And then, so they came, they put me in a chopper, and they flew me to the nearest hospital, which was Delray Medical. And I remember getting in Delray, and I remember talking to them, telling them what's going on with me, and that was it. Once they put me out, I didn't remember anything for the next couple of days.
It was terrible. Like, yeah. I was in the hospital every day with him, but at first, well, I would say the first week or so, like, I wouldn't spend much time in the hospital room because, like, it was scary. Like, it was just heartbreaking, and, like, you kind of didn't know if he was going to make it or not, because you would try to talk to the nurses, and the nurses couldn't give you a definite answer of what was going on. So it was kind of scary, like, to stay in the room with him all the time. I was always afraid to also leave and something would happen.
Jerry's brother Kevin called me up, told me Jerry had been in an accident coming back from practice with damage. I didn't know really the extent of it, but I could tell from Kevin's voice he was pretty shook up. I went to visit Jerry in the hospital and found him on life support.
Yeah, I got the call from Buck, man. You know, he called me when it happened. I actually was here in the studio recording somebody, and I didn't know how to take it. Like, I didn't, not that I didn't believe it. It was just a lot for me at the time. So my reaction was very stunned. So then the next day I called and I found out it is actually true, and go into the details about everything and so forth and so forth. And I go see him the next day. To me, it was very an emotional moment, because I know Jerry outside of paintball. I know Jerry was a child, so I didn't know how to take it in. You know what I mean? So when I seen him in the bed like that, it kind of bothered me. And I don't know if you remember, I was talking to you. Something I was telling you, I was talking to you in your ear. You couldn't talk. Yeah, I couldn't talk. I was so emotional and so, you know what I mean? And I was trying to talk, but my slurs it wasn't coming out right.
Nobody really knew what was going on. Jerry's mom had a little bit of a language barrier, and I was able to speak with the doctor, and he was able to show me the x-rays and confirm Jerry had severed his spine. It was an incomplete injury, but they had put enough metal in him to rebuild him kind of like a spaceship.
The old girl's like, come back there. And it was like, yeah, he can't move. And that was crazy. I was like, oh man, I broke down. I went out the hospital. I was like, what you mean? Like yeah, like he might can't walk again. And that was crazy, man. Like, what you mean? Like, I couldn't understand it. I was like, and I just feel like there's always something. You don't wish bad on nobody, you know what I'm saying? But you just feel like all the wrong things happen to good people, you know what I'm saying?
He put me in a 2 percentile and I might gain anything back. The next day I gained back my right hand. My right hand came, it was weak, but I was able to feel it. And that alone just gave me the energy and the strength to understand, yo, I'm gonna be back.